Oh, you better believe that crazy stuff is going down. How is everybody today? Guess what? Let's switch over to here. I apologize to everybody if there's significant background noise, but it's hot out. It's going to be hot for a week, and I need that AC on. Otherwise, I and the cat will melt. So hello to Escape Route, Draven Devere, Inu Yugi Hakusho, Bella, Ray Goso, and Joel the Poe. How are you folks doing today? I'm going to be playing Ace Attorney Trilogy, not Dini and Ho Adventures. And I'm using this Pro controller for the first time today. It's kind of Zelda-y. But I'll tell you something. It's the lightest controller I think I've ever experienced. I have this PS3 controller. This one is heavier than this. This controller is heavier than this. It almost feels like there's nothing at all in there. It's game night, so you're up early. Sounds good. Also, I bought Takeshi and Hiroshi. I'm excited to play that sometime. Luckily, my hot soup zone weather is staying put this week. Having nice and cool temperatures. How is how is my hot soup zone weather staying put? Oh, I guess that's good for me, but not... Or no, that's good for you, but not for me. Anyway, Ace Attorney. Ace Attorney. It's game night. It is game night. It's video game night. See? Alright. Are you folks ready for some trial former? Let's do this. It's luckily for you, but not for me. Alright. I've forgotten most of the stuff going on in here, so we'll see. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Phoenix Ride, race attorney. Oh gosh. Okay. You win this round. I'll think of something more clever by the end of the stream, hopefully. I think of one half of that that's clever and the other half can't be. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their clients. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. There's one decisive difference between you and her, and that is, you're not a defense attorney. That's true. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Oh yeah, you're just gonna enjoy this? I'm gonna enjoy it too. That's weird. Arguably exploitable. Oh my gosh. Oh, you know what? You know what? I can't not do it. It has to be done. It has to be done. Hey, Eric. Good old Eric. It has to be done, and then we'll... Well, you know what? Let's start the trial. We'll get into it. How am I doing? I'm okay. How are you doing, Bella? Bella? A short hike. I've heard about that. There have been a lot of, Dude, I ain't old. You're old. You're old. I just need to put it into writing, more so. Okay, you know what? I put it in the chat. It's not even good. But let's move. Let's move along. What has to be done? Super chill. All right. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. I'm sorry. I didn't think it was good enough to say. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. Nothing but positive reviews. Out of the bunch, I ended up buying Takeshi and Hiroshi here. That's the one that I bought that was new. And I haven't tried it yet, but it looked really good. So. What the heck? What was I doing? Oh, sorry. Main game is an hour long. Do you hope the main game is $1 expensive? Alright. Oh, it's Edgeworth. Wait, Edgeworth? You know, Edgeworth should recuse himself. Hi there, Christina. How are you doing? Court is now in session. The Right Honorable Judge Old Man Draven presiding. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. I don't know. You look guilty. I should stream it? I should stream everything that I have, but do you know how much time that would take? There are other games that need to be streamed. The world needs Tearaway Unfolded now more than ever. Anyhow, let's see what we got here. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye has committed an unpardonable crime. Bada bing, bada boom. Gee, suddenly I want to eat at a certain Canadian pasta restaurant. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. Well, I'm not gonna buy it right now because I'm streaming. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. Oh good, at least Draven. I like Draven because he gets the Canadiana that I throw in there. It was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness Ms. Angel Starr to the stand. The cough-up queen, as we recall. By the way, Eric, autocorrect is wild. Hi there, Lamu. How you doing today? Autocorrect is wild. At no point can I spell the basic word you, Y-O-U. I can't do it. It always autocorrects to Y-U. The letter Y and the letter U, not Y-U. Boot to the head. Ain't bada boom, bada bacon in our salad. Alright. How about I send you some? Oh! You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Ho-ho! Caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. Wow, Draven. Not the right time for this, old man. The judge is really wolfing it down. And for you, I have a Fiesta Bowl. It looks like it's just sprinkles. Oh gosh, they're garlic home loaves. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? Ah, and you, sir. Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It's too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how's it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty, it hurts! You've had caviar many times, gosh. Now we know all about who's really rich. Her hat looks like she's in the sushi business. And her outfit does not. Don't scream, Eric! You! Don't! I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. The heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Me? The name is Angel Star. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. Huh? What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Ms. Angel Star was a special investigator with the police. And now she sells pickled tapioca. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Miss Star was a detective? Aha! I know who you are. Cough up? Draven, you've had like every job. Cough up, Queen Angel Star, Your Honor. Long time no see. Very well, you may continue with the description, Miss Star. If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep the visitors from taking up prosecutors' spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. Okay. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. Seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. Seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can, then give them your worst, Ms. Star. Okay. What? That's not what a judge says. Alright, so let's see what we can do here. Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend? How touching. Yeah, right here. As you can see, there's no room for doubt. Well, I guess not. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman. Now is not the time for puns, Judge. Oh, Judge. Oh, Judge. Quite a judge, huh? So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Alright, let's see. Because I don't know. Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. Really? How do you know that? How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime. Yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Hey, remember Draven, can't get enough of that wonderful Duff beverage. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is entirely, and when I say entirely, I mean merely, an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr. Okay. This boyfriend, he's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard. That boyfriend? You have several? Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. I get around more often than Purelator. Care to join? But yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants. I'll stick with the lunches, thanks. Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot, in A block. Oh yeah. And Purelator gets around pretty often, huh? It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That'll be the room with the security sign it. Incidentally, did you bring your lunch boxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So, she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. You sensed something? So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder? It felt like, how would you say? Oh yes. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds. Hello, Mats. How's it going? I have no idea what that means. Speaking of a detective's intuition, wasn't the victim, Mr. Bruce Goodman, also a detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese. A young cheese? A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn. She knows a lot about cheese. I guess that's why she runs the luncheon program. Then I must be hard, yellowed, and sharp as a tack. Yep. Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match. Well, now we learned something. Judge Old Man Draven smells like old cheese. In any case, there, in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. I'm sorry, this is too good. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. Okay. By garish car, you mean? Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes. Mr. Edgeworth's? Incidentally, the knife which with the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's. Wasn't it? Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. I think that Edgeworth should recuse himself, yet I probably won't make that happen because I'm actually a terrible judge. This beard isn't even real. And the person you saw, you sure it was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I am certain it was her. Let's just do what we can. If we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter. Crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. Ooh. That was inspiring. You're the worst judge. I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? I may be relegated to the lowly posted lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. A photograph? You took this? The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap! I took a picture. Maybe it's a ceremonial judge beard. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. What? Are you, what? Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I'd show it to you? A prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. That's a problem. So what was the defendant doing at the time? The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Now hold on a second. Can I look at that photo again? What knife? I don't see a knife. And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife? As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch. Is that Smucker's? Anyway. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph he took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was still stronger than your ever-feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. Objection! And how can you tell that? Blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you. Mr. Wright, are you just gonna sit there and take that kind of abuse? Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it? The judge is, obsessed with food. Well, didn't he just eat, like, a caviar lunch? He should be fine. If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Good question. Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. That's a problem. Hello, Bubba. How's it going? These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder. A serious offense. It's one of the top ones. Right up there with coveting your neighbor's umbrella and stealing lunches. Witness, add this to your testimony. The murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves? Like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves, of the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Ms. Starr. Biased, mushroom-nosed judge. Let's think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Ms. Starr's testimony is flawless. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? Don't smile like that. Okay. Why did they take her off the force? That's a good question. Well, I don't know. Let's see what else we can do. Where it was planned, the rubber gloves prove it. It's only a flesh. Oh, darn! Now I have to hear you again. I mean, I guess that's a good question, but okay. I want to see if there's something I can present. Let's go look at this for a second. I would love, you know what? Hey. Thank you, Wizard. I appreciate that. I would like to hear your thoughts, Escape Route. You're going boating. Be careful. If you go out to Gourd Lake, you might get in some trouble. Star claims she saw the crime through a fence. Yeah, that's true. And if we look at the photo, it was taken through a fence. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm just looking at the evidence here. Alright, take care, Wizard. If anybody has any ideas, throw them at me here. Work about, yeah. Okay. So I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Which I'll repress this just for a moment here. Just already said that. Phoenix mentioned pressing, so there must be more to press. I just want to check something. Oh. Hang on. Well, James, that's okay. I'm of no use either. Well, let's continue to press stuff then. Garish car, you mean Mr. Edgeworth's? Yeah. I'm just doing this as if there was something new. Now, I look at the photo and that's not 30 feet away, really. But it's quite the logic leap, is it now? You know what? Give me a mild hint. Give me a mild hint for this logic leap. Give me a mild hint on this. Without quite spelling it out. Subtle clue for me. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. And that subtle clue is the following. Beep. No, it didn't pop up. Alright. Can you phrase it in the form of a riddle? No, I just... Maybe. Well, I'll keep... So, death due to loss of blood. Yes, the blood all over the coat. The Blue Badger did it. I'm waiting for that subtle clue. It's not coming in. I'm gonna look at this photo one more time. Okay. If it was premeditated, then I guess Lana knew the contents of Edgeworth's toolkit. That is true. Okay, yeah. The murder was planned, the rubber gloves prove it. But where did she talk about... She didn't mention the, Well, I guess I can use the knife. Here, I guess. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? It seems like some kind of metal object. I sell box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. You call that a knife? The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? A bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there. The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mommy, are prosecutors bad people? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Yep. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. I'd point my finger up, but I actually have no arms. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon. Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're gonna plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Sometimes you do. Hello, Sushi. How you doing? Ward! Order! Order! Order me another caviar lunch. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. Now I eat humble pie. Amora's okay. Nice and soft and squishy as usual. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah! The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove. Nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. I haven't seen Amora lately. I don't know where she... Oh gosh. I saw this thing right here and I thought, oh my gosh, that was her. No, it's not. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. We're gonna actually check that phone that we picked up and see if she actually called him over. That would be interesting. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. That is, it is kind of an anime-style cat, but there's one thing that bothers me about it. It came completely, like, vacuum sealed with all the air sucked out of the bag. So now it's actually pretty wrinkly. Ooh, woo. There we go. It's gonna stay here. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So if I order a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? Yes. In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. So. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. Okay, let's see. You think it's going to eventually get back into its original shape? Maybe. I can't iron this thing. I may have to use some smoothing techniques. You said that, but you haven't told us how you know. Has the kitty become less wrinkly? Not really. That just looks like an old man kitty. I don't know how to get rid of all the wrinkles. Unless it'll just naturally happen. Maybe if I fluff it. That's what I'm about to tell you, rookie. I believe what she just said was a mere prelude to the story she's about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again, rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked. Every time I call somebody, that means I want to kill them. Oh dear. Try not to confuse the defense, witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim? Her actions speak for themselves. Okay, that didn't get me anywhere. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. You have no proof that Ms. Skye called him there. You have no proof that she didn't. Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts? There's no record of a call made on the defendant, Ms. Lana Skye's phone. She might have written him a letter. What kind of cockamamie story is this? could have at least tried public phone first. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness, why do you think it was the suspect who summoned the victim that day? I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Do tell. What kind of grudge? Well, I wouldn't know that. Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge. Rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside? How am I supposed to know? What am I, a lunch lady? See? We agree. There is a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree? I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty. Oh my word. This judge isn't very good with metaphors. Okay. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this? It's simple. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Hold on. A human machine? That's a contradiction. Please. Can't you find fault with something of substance, Mr. Wright? Note to self, Mr. Edgeworth's sighs smell like citrus fruit. What? You say again and again. How many times did she stab him exactly? While I check. One knife wound. One knife wound. Only one. Gotcha. We often say chop into 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces. What difference does it make if the deed is done? Let's just say she stabbed him several times and leave it at that. Leave it at that. This is a murder case, people. Mr. Wright, you should speak up if you have an objection, you know. Okay. Short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact. I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. What are you talking about? Lana Sky. Okay, so I'm going to go back and present something. And because we know that there was only one stabbing. Objection! Objection! You say she stabbed him again and again. But you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Ms. Starr. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this. But take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right. Good show, Mr. Ed. What a hunk. He's my hero, really. Okay, I have one question. For anybody who has played this series before, do I get a different judge in the next game? That's all I want to know. What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness? You got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. Well... You know what? Alright, fine, don't tell me. Okay, don't tell me then. But I just want a different judge. Okay, alright, that's all I need to know. But my gosh, I don't like this judge. He's as smart as pickled tapioca. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something. For blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Look at who's looking forward to the Soy's Talk About stream. Me! Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. Alright. Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. The stars turned out to be a short time. Okay. Gosh, I'm tired of this. Alright, so I'm gonna press that last part. I thought there was more to it, but I guess not. Her red muffler? Yes, like a scarf. Chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck. Well, where is it? What muffler? What muffler? What muffler? So she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. This guy was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? Wait, isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood? Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib. A judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes, yep. What crime did you witness? She's like, oh, wait a minute. I fell asleep watching Law and Order last night. Oh, my mistake. Whoops. Okay, I excuse myself. Bye. Have a free lunch. Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. Mr. Wright, this is our chance. Chance for what? Poor guy in his beard. Chance for what, I wonder? I want to challenge her with that. I want to challenge her with that photo because. Yeah, well, stop. I don't need to hear that over and over again. Because I don't think that she was wearing a scarf at the time. Muffler. But I have to look at the photo one more time to make sure. She was not wearing that muffler. Absolutely not. Ms. Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. What are you doing, Edgeworth? And you've proved it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be. Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations, perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. But it was there. A scarf. No, not that, but something red. Really? Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. Edgeworth just steals the thunder. That's what he does. What? Very well, witness. Continue your testimony while I eat this chicken wing from my beard. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. Hey, Johnny. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. How could you apprehend the suspect when you're not even on the force? You got kicked off the force, and we're going to find out why. Because you kept mistaking necks for necks with scarves. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. Alright. The moment of truth. Alright, let's apprehend some suspect. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Chief Prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. Yeah, okay. You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star. That wasn't a good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Yes. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No. Note to self. Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake. Phoenix, watch out! A poisonous snake. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. Take Carrick. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. No! That drum had water in it, as I recall. I remember that. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. Okay. So after the murder, okay. So where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There's a wall there, about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And what did you do then? I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Now, how could you get from B block to A block so quickly? You say quickly? Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details? I'd like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. The Lunchland car was... She was a visitor. Last she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car. Yes. Is that correct, Ms. Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. How? Amazing! The cough-up queen. Lunch lady athlete indeed. Bull plop. It would have taken her a little while to climb over that fence, I agree. So she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. How did Miss Sky not get away? Ah, yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. She mentioned the muffler? Are you sure she wasn't talking about the car's muffler? What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else? Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone, she can't mean... Nah, let's ask for it. By phone, do you mean the cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately. My memory. It's like a salmon, heading upstream, you see? No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr. Chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. Near the car. There was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order. And so she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing. Whatever happened to good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony. Things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Muffler. I saw it all. I tried the phone on the wall, but had to use her cell instead. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? Aha! I was going to ask the same thing. I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. Good night, Sushi. Chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. And she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order, even though you couldn't see it because, there's a partition. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. During that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. Then when I boldly grabbed her arm, Chief Prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this? What is it, Mr. Wright? Chief Prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. I'm gonna check this. She made to escape. Can you be more specific? She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a pate of foie gras. What? She even kicked over an oil drum at me. An oil drum? There was an oil drum lying on its side at the scene of the crime. But it's strange. What's that? If she wanted to escape, why didn't she run the other way? The other... Parking lot entrance. That's right. It doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind the partition to the oil drums. Excellent. More mysteries. I wish we could solve a few before finding more, though. So, Miss Skytrain. I'm sorry, my sister's so suspicious, Mr. Wright. Not as sorry as I am. But she didn't do it! You have to believe me. So... Wow, we have gone through a lot there, but anyhow. So where is it? Oh, no. Oh, darn it. I don't want to press further. No, I don't want to press further. I've already heard this. You say quickly. What's next? Ah, yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. Saw it all, how she tried the phone on the wall. Miss Star, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Star, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? Huh? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Ahem. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point? However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the backside of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. What? Order! Order! What is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies! That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. The witness lied about... Uh-oh. I think these are all true, but... Miss Sky tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Ms. Starr to lie about it. Pointless to lie. I see. But say the witness actually did see Miss Scott using the emergency phone, it would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location? That's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? Now, if she saw this and that, it could be here. This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room. Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor, so you can see the entire lot. So she would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime in the back of partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr, how many years have I been getting the better of men to think that the tables could be turned? Today, a man has got the better of Angel Starr. Yes, indeed. One did. Order, order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense. No, it makes perfect sense. Revenge for getting kicked out for trying to sneak some of that tea out of the office. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It's the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth, because if that was the case, how would you... If she was in the security guard station, how could she have gotten a photograph from that angle? What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Huh? Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. She witnessed the crime from there. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference, but what? What would change? Well, distance to the crime, perhaps not. Angle of view to the crime, yeah. Difference in lighting, probably. Why the angle at which she saw the crime occur would change. The angle? What do you mean? Well, the security guard station is on the second floor, and she would have sort of a more 3D view of the crime. And this is important. Why? Oh, I screwed it up. Well, that didn't work out. What would change? Not difference in, well... Well, I mean, that's also true. It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright. But one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station? And how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Skye? Well, witness? You... Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. That sounds like food in a way, if you must. Boysenberry for the boyfriend. He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. No. Before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. But the photo that you took had the fence on it. Bye, Bella. What? No. No, this isn't. So I had to go through the visitors' parking in B block. It's quite a detour. Probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. 5 minutes? This is way off. This changes things considerably. But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. But if it took you 5 minutes, she's standing there by the car for 5 minutes. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork. You have a point. And the spork is a wonderful invention. Gosh. Would you like another caviar lunch? Absolutely! Isn't that bribery? Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do I have any evidence to stop this? Well... yes, I do. There was a call made at 5:18 when I was behind the partition, apparently. 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You can make pasta in that amount of time. If you like it al dente. I've got lunchboxes to tie pasta in the knots, rookie. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange? If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Maybe eat a caviar lunch. Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. Objection! You did kill somebody. You've killed the justice system. But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run, but this time was different. Miss Skye dawdled at the scene of the crime? She even had her picture taken? No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant, and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth is the next witness ready to go. Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright. I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? I prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. What was that? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr. Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox? Woohoo! A triple-decker! Oh, Judge Draven. Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Oh my gosh. Let's hear about this decisive evidence. Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. She's gonna pull out of her lunchbox this time. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on the shoe. One was, of course, the victim's. Another blood type? Matched that of the defendant, Ms. Lana Sky. It's like you when you order a triple-decker. Ooh, a treat box. Woo! This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. What? There was blood found on that shoe? Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. My goodness. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? Simple. As I've already said, I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. And you had blood tests performed? Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics. In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence. What? You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Yes, did you order the stewed aglets? In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen. At least study some evidence law. Really? Prosecution's complete. This notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness. Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Well, before I do that, do you mind if I, look at the shoe? Ah, there's blood here, too. The sole of the shoe? It's got to be the victim's. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood. All this blood, it's horrible. This blood might be an important clue. I say taste it. It's probably the boysenberry. Okay, what's this? This blood, it's my sister's, right? It appears so. Well, his right hand was bandaged when I saw him, Jillian. Poor sis. Anything else? My gosh, this isn't a shoe at all. It's a black hole. It's a vortex. Wait. I suppose this could be a man's shoe. It's a loafer. It's fine. Alright, let's see what we can do with this. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. Why didn't you? Why did you lie about those 5 minutes? I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results. Results? How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing. Then why didn't you just tell the truth? Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book. But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr. Let's just get this over with. Just arrest her. And you found this shoe at the scene of the crime? Detain the chief prosecutor and notify the police department. I want to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive. So like an ill-trained pooch who snuck off with a shoe. I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. The shoe is my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? Perjury isn't a good look. Neither is that fur coat. Carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen. In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next. The judge is turning around. So you brought it to the forensics department? If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it. Or it could be boysenberry for all we know. Who wants to lick the shoe? Well, the man was stabbed after all. And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman. As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. The other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie? Huh? Well, speak up. Well, blood comes in 4 types. A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there. Which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear. That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. They said there's very little doubt it could be anyone's but Miss Lana Sky's. So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. Anything else? Shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? A problem? Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? Is there a problem with the shoe? What do you think? You out there in stream watching land. Is there a problem with this shoe? What do you think? Well, yes, it's an ugly shoe. Okay. Can I say that though? It's like a Miami Vice shoe. It's a loafer. Probably. Actually, absolutely got a problem with it. Do you have any problems with it that I could use in court? And not as a fashion critique? They aren't gopher loafers. Well, hey, it was that or skin her chauffeurs. I mean, come on. You already examined the shoe. Which blood was the victim's? Well, let's take a look. Shall we? Let's check the shoe. Actually, I don't... Did they even say which was which? So this blood, it's... Oh, so the sister's blood is on the top. It's the splattered one. Okay. And she had cut herself, apparently. And then the victim's blood are these little splotches here. Yeah, we've determined that. Well, if you think that's a problem, then there's a problem. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there is one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence. So, is the evidence the blood at the bottom or the blood at the side? The fact that the shoe leads to nowhere at all. I don't want to get this wrong, though. Whatever. Take that. I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of this shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Indeed. There is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? Well, now there are things that I could do. There's a lot of blood on there, on the photograph. It's all on her coat, it looks like. I don't know where he was stabbed, so... You know... I want to point out something. I don't know if this is accurate, but, like, I look at this knife, and there's not a lot of blood on it. There's more blood on the shoe than there is on the knife. I don't know. It's a chest wound. Why would there be so much blood on the ground? Well, see, there are two things that I could say, but I guess I'll go with your idea. The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't there any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about the shoe! This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. And where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order, order, order! Well, witness. What? Huh? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of the footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint. Oh. It's true, there has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Think, Mr. Wright, think! I don't know why it's not there. Let's go to finding contradictions. What? I see. Now I get it. Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. Chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Meow. I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that, I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Witness, well, was the oil drum empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Okay, so that's true. Kinda, maybe. But water? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Aha! You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. Water. That ties things up quite nicely. More caviar. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. And after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. Why, that's the prosecutor's specialty. Erasing evidence. She cut herself when she stabbed him. She did it. She's guilty. Sent her to jail. So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe. Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. Mr. Wright, do something, please. What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There's no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor? Very well. But Angel Star is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water. This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you just say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called corn and beans. And evidence. Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else. My goodness, it's been a long day. Time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare the cough up, queen. Look at this. A photograph. I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. I see no room for error in this evidence. Right, wait, look at the asphalt in the photo. Hey, it's clearly wet. Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. Sorry, Mia. Right, wet or not. Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. But if I throw in the towel, that will sop up all the water. What do you do? Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good. Let me look at that photograph that I can't look at because it's not mine yet.
Objection!
Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Oh, Judge Draven. I hear you on this. Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph. The last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, Wright, are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah. Yeah, there's a problem. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. The muffler! The muffler!
Take that!
The muffler! It was the actual muffler! What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler! It's a muffler! A muffler in a muffler! What's going on? Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph. A muffler is also a part on a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Muffler! Believe me, I know my way around a muffler. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system. A pipe. I see, and I see. I know that the chat disappeared. I don't see it anymore. Now it's back. Yo, dog, we heard you like mufflers, so we put a muffler in your muffler so you can muffle while you muffle your muffler. What's that suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler? Huh. So if there is something sticking out of the muffler, what does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Objection!
Sorry, Ms. Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. Wow. Who doesn't like a little tear your soul by muffler? Wow. I don't get the reference at all. Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to the case. Well,
Take that!
Ms. Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Ah, yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. Drum and bass. Ooh, you got me hooked. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Well, that's because you're hip and or happening, Grave. Muffler! Arrgh. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh, woo! Well, seems we'll have to suspend the proceedings. Suspend? I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once, and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Thank goodness I saw a muffler. This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all. You just had 2 caviar lunches. Oh boy. Okay. That was a long trial. Trial ladder. Let's see. That guy ate 2 caviar lunches during the trial. Mr. Wright? Oh, what? Are trials always like this with you? Like you're swimming up from the bottom of a lake about to reach the surface? But no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there? It still is a long trial. Pretty much. Except today we're swimming in quicksand. So what happened to your sister, anyway? Apparently she got called off to the judge's chambers. Probably something to do with that piece of cloth. So, this is where we turn this trial around, right? Our only weapon, a tiny, insignificant piece of cloth. I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth. Hola, partner! Oh, it's that guy. I was hoping it was Larry. They say you show a red cloth to a bull, it'll fire up its temper. That's what they told me when I was a youngin', at least. Officer Marshall! Thought I'd come take a look-see at how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They've got the home ranch locked down tighter than a fort in enemy territory. That hard to slip out, huh? What's going on over there, anyway? All the police I've seen these last 2 days have really been on edge. Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You could be worrying about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example. Officer Marshall. The whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. She wasn't even wearing a scarf. You don't say. But don't that just beat all? Alright. Take care, escape route. I'll hang out here for a bit. I've seen the red breeze blow at her. Ooh, I had like a random yawn come at me. I've seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many a time. I saw it that day too. She was wearing a red muffler. What? At the awards ceremony that afternoon. Edgeworth's seen it too, I'd reckon. Photograph taken. She wasn't wearing a scarf. So, Miss Starr wasn't mistaken. Well, it's about time. Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns. Sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell. So, what are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright? If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Ooh-wee! Sounds good. Looks like we're going back in the courtroom. I'd like to resume. Is he tired too? Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes. What's more, your eyes are unfocused. You're doubled over. Your back is bent. It can't be. This can't happen. I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth. Well, then I believe it is time we continued on with this trial. Don't worry about that guy going wild over there. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation. This is unacceptable. Seems our prosecutor's quite beside himself. Excuse me, knock knock. Huh? Who's there? Whoa! Who's this? A strange stuffy aura. Who is this? Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in. Who on earth is he? Ah, it's you! Who? Who? Oh, hey. Sorry, I'm late, gee. The roads were packed. It's just me. Long time no see, eh, G? How you been? Swim much these days? Ah, hello, hello. No, I've been so busy. Busy? Busy smizzy, G, my boy. You have to make time to relax. Yes, yes, indeed. Udgy seems to be his nickname for the judge. I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. Sorry, but who are you? Aha, so you're right, though. The attorney. I've heard good things about you, son. Thanks. So sorry about our little worthy giving you all that trouble, eh? You know we should all go swimming together sometime. It would be jolly. Little worthy. Mr. Wright, you don't know the district chief of police? Chief of police? He's the top-ranking police officer in the entire district. Name's Gant. Damon Gant. Pleased to meet you, everyone. So, to what do we owe this honor today? It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it? Well, it's worthy here. Look at the poor fellow. I just thought I'd help out by bringing this. Hey, that's my sister's muffler. Muffler. Gant doesn't sound like a very Nordic name. Oh, well, it's a regional name. But to think that it was stuffed into that exhaust pipe. On little worthy's car, no less. It's really quite embarrassing, even for us. What's this? It's what you'd call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing, this. Chief, what kind of outfit are you running? Mr. Edgeworth, how could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If your investigators are this lax, how do you expect us to do our job? Now wait a minute, Worthy. I have no desire to hear your excuses. I'm telling you to wait. Or didn't you hear me? Have a look at this document where it says person in charge of investigation. There's no mistaking that signature, is there? Miles Edgeworth? But that's not fair. The day of the crime I had. Your head in the clouds because you got that award. I know how you feel. But sure, the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology. What? Are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made. It's the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words. This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth. Gah. The court accepts this new evidence. I'd like to ask the defense a favor first. Yes? Just to be sure. I'd like to take a look at this... the blade of this knife. The blade, Your Honor? Well, I don't see why not. Could you open it up for me, I wonder? Yes, well... I think all I have to do is push that switch and... If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I wouldn't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I wouldn't be able to point it at people anymore. Come on, just hurry up and open it. Oh, I'm not doing this. I wondered why I was having a conniption. Now we know. What does this say? Oh, it's incomplete! Oh, I'm scared. Look at this knife blade. The tip is broken off. Dark red stain. Blood! Can I examine it more? Oh, I want to examine it a little more. Wait, SL... This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself. I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us about the split between the prosecutors and the police and this knife? Sure thing. Not a problem, not even a little one, really. It's time for testimony. This knife is special, but I can't say how here because even though this is a trial, I can't say anything for some reason. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. A detective was killed at the police department, see? What a mess. The time of the crime, 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. There was a murder at the police department, a detective. That's hush-hush information, G. We haven't exactly announced it yet.
Objection!
Wait a second. You said 5:15. That's the exact time that Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. Order, Steph. Objection. Hi, Steph. Welcome. Anyway, we at the department were all a-flustered, as you might well assume. We're in the middle of a top secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? I think we understand the police department's situation. Well, Mr. Wright? 2 detectives killed at the same time in 2 different places. Chances of that are really slim, scientifically speaking, of course. I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. Very well. However, keep your questions focused on the case at hand. Alright, let's see what we got here. What can we do? You're hitting the tail end of the stream. We'll have to catch up with the VOD. There was a really snarky lady. I've only been doing trials. This whole stream has been just trial. No investigation. It's been pretty heavy. So let's see. Excuse me? Special? Hard to come by this particular knife anywhere else. Well, yeah, there was a really dodgy woman. That cough-up queen was on the stand for over an hour. And she's trouble for sure. Might that special thing be this little tag? Oh, sorry, Righto, but I can't say that now. Not that. We've established that the knife in Goodman's chest was this knife. Now, why was there another knife at the scene of the crime? It's quite a mystery. What accent is that? Whatever you want it to be. And like a mystery, it's wrapped in something. A muffler. Okay. This knife was found on the scene of our crime. I think that makes it connected to the case, don't you? See, there's a lot of things that go on with the department I can't explain. I'm going for Norwegish. It's delicate, okay? Sorry, right, though. Maybe there's something about the knife that will give us a clue. Now, hold on a second. I just want to check something here. Wait! That's it! I got it! I got it! Show me that knife again. Okay, so the tag says SL9. Or does it say 6-7S, which is the same as what is written on this piece of paper right here that we found in the victim's, well, we found it in the car trunk. Aha! I'm gonna press him on that. That's examine that knife while we can, right? Evidence that links the knife to Detective Goodman. Perhaps the pieces are falling into place. They are! I should try presenting the piece of evidence that's had me stumped all this time. So how were things down at the department? That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. I'm gonna present something right here. Now I got my evidence.
Objection!
Wait a second! Ah, at last, an honest-to-goodness objection! This knife. This has to have something to do with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? Aha! An honest-to-goodness, what do you mean from Udgy? This is great. Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL9-2. This is important. Why? Over here we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. What's this? 6 minus 7S 12-2. No. Your Honor, it's upside down. Upside? The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn around and what do you get? Oh. Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down. SL9. That's the same thing that's written on the knife's tag. Order! Order in the court! Order me another caviar lunch, please. Well, Chief? Ah, well. I guess the cat's out of the bag, as they say in my Nordic village. You win, right, though. I win. This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. Second recess for second lunch break. Sounds good. So this knife was stolen. Yes, but on the day of the murder, it was evidence, you say. Was it in fact a murder weapon? Nice. Good show, little worthy. It was a murder weapon as it happens. It was evidence from a case long since solved. This knife was stolen, okay. And it was found in the exhaust pipe of Edgeworth's car. Why? Hard to think, there isn't a connection there. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. Let's find out. Something happened at the police department too, huh? You got a good look in your eyes there, right, oh my boy. Sharp, hungry. So, something did happen. Why wasn't I informed? Why weren't you informed? Well, why didn't you ask? No matter, I understand. You were busy, what with Lana's case and all. Well, what happened? What happened at the police department that day? A detective was killed at the police department. See? What a mess. Something, what a mess. On the same day that the detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department. That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Udgy? I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, right, though? I suppose I could help if you help me by giving me data on your case. Oh, good one. This kid's sharp. Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing and one thing only. What do I want to know? Well, we already know when the victim died because it was 5:15. You said that it was at the police department, was it not? Well, actually, no, we don't know that. You know what? Tell me this. Well, how was the detective killed? How was he killed? Now that's the interesting part. It was what we in the force call a stabbing with the knife. knife? That's exactly the same as Detective Goodman. That's the spirit. Now we're cooking. Oh, baby. Do you like the fact that I use a fan as a goatee? But you know, that's not the only thing that was exactly the same. What do you mean? There were more similarities between the two cases than the cause of death. Time of the crime? That's true. 5:15? But that's when Detective Goodman was killed in the prosecutor's office. What? Funny, isn't it? A murder at the prosecutor's place and a murder at our place at the very same time. A fan, I thought it was a scallop shell. You could be right about that too. But he clearly said fan. What are the chances? He doesn't seem too concerned. You know what? I think I paint him happier with the accent than I should. This is just my gut feeling, but I'd say there's a 0.001% chance of that happening. Chief Gant, please tell us more about the incident. It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk about it much. How can you say there's no connection? How? Because I'm the chief of police. I can't just say anything I please, right, though? You understand. Try to understand, righto. Well, if you can prove there is a connection, more power to you. Maybe there is something that ties the two murders together. Didn't I already do it? That knife. What was it doing there? Well... Wait, hold on. Well, hold on. What is it that you can't talk about? Detective was killed at the police department. See, what a mess. The time of the crime. It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. What is it? This evidence clearly reveals the contradiction in that statement, Your Honor. How exactly are that evidence and the statement just now related? They aren't, are they? Ah, darn it. Yeah. Well, I biffed that. So what? Well, hold on a second. So, no connection. Maybe there's something that ties the two murders together. Two detectives were killed at 5:15. One at the prosecutor's office. One at the police department. That can't be a coincidence. And that knife. Well... So we looked at the knife. There's a small tag on the knife. It says SL, what's that supposed to mean? DL6. Must be a case number, okay. I don't remember where, but I think I've seen something like this before. Alright, so there's that. I mean... I've already presented this, haven't I? Oh, nuts, I did it again. Well, I can't. I guess I can't. Okay, I can't do that. I can't present that again. So what's like left? I need something that connects the two cases a little more. What connects the two cases? I mean... Well... But I can't just, like, oaf my way through this, because I don't want to lose all my points there. Any ideas? You know, it's a shame I don't have the second photo. Time of the crime. Nobody has any ideas. Nobody can help me out. Oh man. Now I'm in a bind. I'm in a bit of a bind now. I'm in a bind. I'm in a major bind. The bind is major. Well, I guess I'm gonna press. I'm gonna press this again just to hear it again. Same day. Someone was killed at the police department. You have a guide answer. Can you give me like a rough clue? Oh, wait. Oh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why don't I do this again? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found. Hold on. Hold on. Don't tell me this yet. I'm gonna go through these options here. But I can say the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department. You just wanted to say that, Steph. You'd say that, like, in any game. Wait a second. I have heard of that. The evidence room? Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now? This knife was evidence in a case that was stolen from the department's evidence room. So, whenever you come to a stream, doesn't matter what game it is, you can say order in the court. Cool. You seem happy, Mr. Wright. Happy? We just got handed our ticket to go to town on this case. But I want to go back and hear the third thing. Hold on. I want to hear the third option. So when did the murder at the police department occur? Now that's a sharp question, right? Oh, very sharp. Well, my boy, you're gonna love this. The time of the crime? 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. Do I have something that links? Well, hold on a sec. Chief. The defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. Eh? You don't say. Well, out with it, Righto. What's your connection? Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place mentioned in the testimony we just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention the victim had on him the case number on the knife's evidence tag. We also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed. There do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence. You two make a good pair. It took my men 2 days to find out what you deduced right here. Chief, I request that you release your information on the victim at the police department. See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet and all. Can we get the information unofficially? Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all. Who would have guessed? I'll cooperate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim at the department, okay? Alright. If you're gonna tell us a little, why not tell us everything? Ah, well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly. Oh, well, I guess I might as well try to get what I can. Alright. Well, let's start with the division. Okay, well, what division was the victim stationed in? Oh, you want to know that, do you? Do you? Criminal Affairs Division 1. The detectives responsible for homicide cases. It was the maid at the motel with the candlestick. A candlestick right to the heart. I must say, wax on, wax off. It's done. Detective Goodman, who was killed in the underground parking lot, was homicide too. It's almost like a serial killer was after homicide detectives. Except this serial killing happens simultaneously, scientifically speaking. But wait, maybe they used that clock that was 3 hours behind. Oh, what if it was Detective Gumshoe? Okay. We're gonna continue, this line of questioning here. I guess I just have to go to the end. So we'll ask a different question. Victim's ID number. Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number? Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who it is from that. Of course not. You won't tell me their name, after all. We keep a tight lid on ID numbers, so don't go getting your hopes up. Gum in his shoe. The number is 1228. Polly. No. 5842189. Hold on. 5842189. No, wait a minute. How could Goodman be killed in two different places? Wait a minute. No. No, no. That's not right. Well, that's quite long. I can't remember 7 numbers. And we have to remember these. It drives me nuts. 82. No, I can't do it. Goodman's ID number, but he was killed in a different place. Wait, maybe half of Goodman was in one place, and half of Goodman was in another. It's like Face Off. Well, Mr. Wright, does this tell you anything? This tells me something. Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does. I think. Meaning? Has to be what I think it is. What does this mean? Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say the ID number of the detective who was murdered at the police department tells you something? What does it tell you?
Take that!
That's what made him a good man. Oh dear. Witness! What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night. Ooh! No, it's just... I got confused. This is news? Huh? Just come out with both guns blazing, like you always do. The police department. The prosecutor's office. 2 places. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number right here. Oh, is it yours? No, Your Honor. I'm a defense attorney, remember? This is the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman. Shame on you, Wright, though. Personnel IDs are top secret. Detective Goodman's ID number is 5842189. And this means what exactly? Huh? Wait! That ID number we heard from the chief earlier. That started with 82, maybe sort of. I didn't even get the first number right. The number the chief of police gave us was 5842189. Wait a second, right? What is this? Mean? That's what I want to know. The two ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department's evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that? Oh, sharp as attack, right, though. Sharp as attack. But wait, Detective Goodman is our victim. You can't have him. He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot. And a Detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department? You've never heard of really, really stretchy Siamese twins? In the evidence room at the exact same time. Objection! That's impossible. So what we're saying is, the same person was killed at the same time? And in a completely different location? Order! Order! Wait, I've forgotten my catchphrase. Steph, help me out. What is my catchphrase? Just stretching through town and everything. No, time travel, that could be a thing too. Help me! We cannot continue this case unless we know what that slogan is. What do I say? My entire career is depending on this. Help me. No, that's not it! Oh no! She got it wrong. Order in the court, that's the one. Thank you. Yes, it's top secret, fine, but I'm the prosecutor in charge of the case. Now just wait a second, Worthy. No need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said wait. Or didn't you hear me? The oversight, the grave error. Mr. Edgeworth, they're yours. What? How? How dare? We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our officer Meekins who brought you the news. Oh, the one you sent away, Edgeworth, you dope, you. Officer Meekins? Mr. Wright. Where have we heard that name before? Wait, aha. Yeah, it's the guy that you sent away. Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir. Oh, you sent him away. Edgeworth was like, I'm too busy for this. Oh, you dope. You don't mean him. According to Meekins, you didn't accept the report. Hard to believe. But your officer, he told me. He said that report had nothing to do with the Lana Sky incident. Detective Bruce Goodman, murdered in the police department evidence room? Race attorney. Sounds okay. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on the top of the report. Ah. Why didn't your officer tell me? Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making the connection. He did seem challenged. Oh, I don't like that. In any case, this is a serious error. A gross negligence of duty on your part, Worthy. But sir, you could have submitted that report this morning to the court as evidence. Then I don't like that either. No such luck this time, Worthy. Or should I say, unworthy? Oh, ho, 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 ha, ho, he, ho, ha, ho, ho. I'm so cute. What? Now what was the second rule of evidence law, Well, Mr. Wright? Huh? Oh, well, it's, Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And how is this rule relevant? Normally, you submit the list of evidence to be used in court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So, what does this mean? I couldn't submit this evidence until a connection was proven in court. The connection was just proven by Wright over here. Good job, Wright, my boy. Huh? I was just doing my job. No. No! It seems we have come to the end of this trial. I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy. What with all those rumors? You were even in the defendant's chair just this past December. So we knew the answer all along. Glad to let you figure it out. Interesting. Cool. I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part. Mr. Edgeworth! Please, just give me one day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened. If it's the last thing I do. You'd better get results this time. Really. You have my profound apologies, sir. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I don't think there's ever been an error this serious in the history of this court. I will grant one further day as the prosecution has requested. Will that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Whatever your punishment for this is, for your sake, I hope it's not decisive. Very well. Court is adjourned. Oh, okay. Sounds good. So, it just makes me wonder who was actually murdered. Who was murdered? Are there two Bruce Goodmans? I don't know. Anyhow, we get to save here, and I'm going to end the stream right here, right now, right here, right now. I'm going to save again, just to be safe. Anyhow, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate everybody being here. You are good people. I am always happy when you come by. There will be streams on the weekend. There's definitely a game show one on Sunday. That I can assure you. I might do one tomorrow afternoon. We will see. Yeah. Yeah. That's all I got. It's getting dark out here. We're getting into SoyBomb After Dark territory. We can't be having that. We just can't be having that. So, have a good night, folks, and don't stink up the hallway.